Live from the Mid-America Trucking Show in Louisville, Kentucky, this is Dave Nemo Weekends with Dave Nemo, Jimmy Mack, and Lindsay Lawler.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. This isn't whiplash, by the way. These are, the idea that music. Alice Cooper once said that a good song is a good song is a good song, regardless of what style it's played in. Man, what a show last night, Lindsay. What a show last night.
And we got to be VIP because we know people like Polly and people like this next guy. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Tony Justice. Come on, make some noise.
Yeah.
Morning, everybody.
He played the concert. He and Colt Ford last night really set the tone and the mood for Matt's. You guys had a packed house at the Freedom Hall. We got to be in the suite watching it. Kicked it out with Chicken Lats.
We did. That's the first time we've ever. Everybody thinks that I recorded that song. I'm like, no, that's Jesse Watson's song, And everybody, somehow I keep being accused of the one that recorded that thing. So
there's worse things to be accused of.
There is,
Tony.
because it's a great song, and Jesse Watson's a great artist. And, we had this little duster jacket. We put some chicken lights on and cowboy hats. That'd be a great song to start tonight off with, and I think all the truckers would think that's pretty cool. So
heck yeah.
And Matt point on hauling ass.
Hauling ass, right, number 2. We're nerdy, and we got the set list, too. I was like, Polly, can we get a copy of the set list? Because we're like fangirls.
So talk about that last night, by the way. Tony, it's great to see you, by the way. We don't get a chance to talk as often as we'd like. Talk about what that was like to kind of take that stage, like right at the center. Because basically it's Friday. It's Friday evening. Still a day left at bats. People are kind of revving up. They're ready for that last day to kind of roll in, but they want to have a great time that night. What it's like to take the stage in an environment like that and know that the world of trucking has come to you. You play a lot of shows with a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life, but here we are. You know that the majority of the folks out there make their living either through transportation or actually on the road. Talk about that feeling.
It was just, me and my wife walked in here in 2012 for the very first time. We didn't know anybody. We had a suitcase full of my first CDs and walking around trying to, to meet people and start building relationships. And, that was just such a dream 12 years ago, and then you wake up yesterday morning and you're like, it's a reality today. And to go in there and to have all the peers, we're in a unique position where, not only drivers feel like they can relate to me because I've driven 22 years as well, but they can relate to my music, but they also know I can relate back to them. And Lindsay, that's a really unique position to be in as an artist for anybody. So it was just, it was just the biggest honor of my life to walk in there and to see that many people, especially with Kid Rock right up the road, about 4 miles in concert at the same time. So to still have that many people last night in the Freedom Hall was just. It was when I walked out on stage. It was a tear moment for me and Misty both.
Sure.
It really was. I had to kind of rein back my emotions when I went on stage because it was it's really indescribable, the feeling.
I like that you said to relate to them, but then they relate back to you because everyone listen. We all just want to be heard, and especially truckers. A lot of drivers get into this business so that they don't have to deal with humanity, but they have a lot they still have to deal with, actually, obviously. And you're able to really speak to that. So it's one thing to live it every day, but then for you to be able to bottle that up in a song and have that emotion in it that hits your heart. Not only does it hit them, but it's hitting your heart as a driver yourself as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no other industry in the world that even comes close to having as many songs written about it as the trucking industry. And that was really kind of going away. I was seeing that kind of slipping away. When I was out there just writing songs that I didn't think would ever be heard by anybody but me and the inside of that Peterbilt 379. And, we finally got an opportunity with the folks at Pilot. They heard one of my songs. It's like, hey, go make an album, or, what's your idea with the song? What would you like to do? I said, I think, we could make an album. I said, the best trucking songs have probably already been written and recorded, but we've all heard them a million times.
Yeah. And
there wasn't many people doing anything new. I said, I think, it might would work. And, like I said, that was in 2012, and here we are today. We're still getting it. So, what these guys and gals do each and every day out there trucking, it takes a special person. It's not for everybody. It is a way of life. It's not a job. If somebody's out there doing it for a job, they have to be the most miserable person that you'll probably ever meet because the challenges are never ending. Every day is a different day, a different set of challenges, from traffic to mechanical problems to dealing with DOT and some BS regulations we got to put up with. It's a lot to put up with, and if you don't love it, you ain't gonna last long,
Well, the other thing I want to talk to you about, and I want to get Lindsay's opinion on this too. So last night is an extraordinary opportunity because you play other shows and you have nice crowds, and it's a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life. One of the things that is a constant concern, I know it's a concern of the St. Christopher Fund as well, about the quality of life of people who are on the road. They don't get a chance to do many things like this.
Yeah.
To get together with their own. A lot of times an audience will go see a show, and those people have some commonality. They come from all walks of life, but it's people from different communities.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to how we kind of arrange a situation where drivers know that there are a couple of places, not just one or two, where every year they can kind of gather and see music. You know what I'm saying? And not like you have to come and see, other products and all that kind of stuff. Is there a model, Tony, where we can actually get people together to have these people have a community meeting where was a show that's for them? Other people can come, of course, but that the truckers know that the space is available for them, that they are the welcomed and they are the guest of honors beyond just one time a year at the Louisville Exposition Center.
I mean, it's happening right now all across America. We spend the year playing truck shows, and I don't know how much money that this industry raises for so many great causes through these truck shows. We play Maryberry Chrome Shop Truck Show. They donate a huge amount of money to the hospital, the Children's Hospital of North Carolina. We do large cars and guitars, Bristol Motor Speedway. And it's a fellowship of, we donate to Susan G. Komen with the help fight against breast cancer. Troy Massey has his show out in Texas, and they raise a lot of money for their children there in their hometown. It has to be in the millions of dollars. Brian Martin with 4 Straight Trucks, Special Olympics, he raises $300,000 a year for that organization through his truck show. So these things are happening all over the place,
and
really.
We're doing, I don't even know if you know this yet, but I'm also now playing up for you and I. You'll be Friday night. I'll be
Wisconsin.
Saturday night at Wisconsin at the Badger State Trucking Show up there. So you and I are going to get to be a part of that weekend as well, and that's all benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation as well.
Absolutely. And if people are interested on how to find out when and where these truck shows are, Chris Fifey's got a website, the Truck Show. I wish I had it written down.
Truckshow.com.
Truckshow.com. My buddy Chris Fifey started that, and man, what a great opportunity it is. Drivers get together. You have that old school fellowship. Time to sit down with drivers, people that share a lot of things in common. They take pride in their trucks, they take pride in their industry. Get a couple of days off the road, hang out with their buddies. People need to look into that, and they're in every state, every town all year long.
Yeah, the other thing that I kind of want to talk about too in that vein, because I'd love to see you do this, I'd love to see Lindsay do this, Long Haul Paul is out there, is a nice situation where on those grounds, at those truck shows, 150-seat theater, where one of you guys just comes out with a guitar and maybe one or two other accompanying artists and tells you stories and does those kind of storytelling moments where you tell about the songs that you wrote on the road and have a nice evening, so that not just in an arena, not just in kind of outdoors, but a sense of like sitting down and maybe this already exists. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of the truck shows we go to, we're bringing in top-of-the-line production stages and lighting, and so a lot of them have a really nice place to do that already. I've been harping for years, like we need a tour of these truck shows. We need a sponsored tour. We can go out with 3 or 4 artists that are connected to the industry and play music year-round and provide for those guys. The potential's there. It's just
I love that, but like I said, Tony, you have an incredible story to tell. I mean, you have an incredible personal story to tell. What you and your family have been through, and what you've come out on the other side through. To be able to sit down just with you and a guitar and an audience of, let's say, 150, 200 truckers, just around you, and just kind of say, let's just kind of talk for a little bit. Let's talk about our time out there, and let's kind of channel that through song. And I know that is so much of what you gather. You gather because you're at the truck stop. You gather because you're at the hub. You get a chance to talk to these men and women who drive with you, and you can feel that commonality, right? A lot of the stories you tell are not just your story. They belong to so many other people out there, right?
Sir, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought I was just writing songs about my experience in trucking, and it turns out there's a lot of people that could relate to them, because they're just going through the same thing, I've been out there for 22 years in the trenches, going through all the same headaches and trials that any truck driver goes through, and we start putting music to those stories, and
when you get more,
everybody related to it.
When you get more specific, and Long Haul Paul out here in front talking about getting specific. He'll be up in Wisconsin with you Friday night, with me Saturday night, actually. Yep. When you get more specific, Tony, I don't know if you found this. It's like we can, you start out writing songs however long ago, and you think you need to write some general so that everybody can relate. And then you realize, wow, if I just tell my story specifically, the people are going to find it that which are a lot of people that will find it specific to you. And you've done that with you and Misty, your wife. You've gone through a lot, and with raising your kids and being on the road, all the things. And the more specific you've gotten in your music, it's like the more specific you get, the more general it is that people find you, right? Do you find that?
Yeah, I do. And I think it just boils down to it just being real.
Yeah.
You know, it's just real. You're not making it up. This is what's happening. And then people get to know you. You know, you build those relationships with your fans, and they're like family. They become like your family, you know. And you know, pretty much the same guys that support me, support Paul, and support you. You know, it's the same circle of people. And if we're down and we need something, man, they are there, you know. And they all knew about the breast cancer. So when the song War Paint comes out, I mean, it touched so many people when I wrote that song for Misty, and then because all them are dealing with somebody in their family who's had cancer. So it's just that relatability and writing stuff that's real, that really has impacted your life, and you're putting your feelings and your guts out on paper and throwing it out there.
You can actually write a song about actually having to wear a boot both on your truck and on your leg, by the way.
I got the double boot.
But people could write songs about calluses. People don't realize that. I mean, the callus, that you actually develop while working on the road actually can become, that's kind of the deal.
Does rhyme with malice. I don't know. Check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Justice, what's happening next? I know we've got some music giveaways, some promo, right?
We got a special going on. I don't know for how long. I know probably the rest of the day. But if you go to my website, TonyJusticeMusic.com, and use SiriusXM code, or SiriusXM for your code, you can save $5 off all orders over $25. So
all right.
Check that out at TonyJusticeMusic.com. And
awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cool. Special for you guys all today. You get some discounted Tony Justice music. He's the guy who gives back. He's a trucker. He knows what you're going through. He's your heart. So go to TonyJustice.com. Download your music anywhere you stream music. You can find him. Just always love getting to see you. Where are you going? Where are you heading next?
We got my truck shows next in Bristol Motor Speedway, largecarsandguitars.com. The fine folks at Bennett Family Companies are presenting that truck show, along with a bunch of other cool sponsors, and they were a huge part of making last night happen here at Freedom Hall, and sponsored the whole concert. So we're heading out. We're heading there, and then we head out to Wheel Jam up in South Dakota after that. So we'll start getting busy.
Give Tony a big round of applause, guys. The Pound of Flesh is coming.
We love the good people of Bennett. Thanks for bringing Tony and getting us all together. We'll be right back.
We're the last of the cowboys.